solution. Its features include 3 separate programmable independent oscillators, each with an 8-octave range, 4 mixable waveforms per oscillator, sawtooth, triangle, pulse, and noise, 3 mixable filters, low pass, high pass, band pass, and notch, plus attack, decay, sustain, release controls, 2 ring modulators, 2 8-bit A and D converters, analog to digital converters, an external input for sound mixing with external signal sources, and this is also one of the reasons why the Commodore 64 became so popular with MIDI interfaces, and a random number modulation generator. The Commodore disk drive had a reputation for very slow disk drive access, sometimes taking minutes to load a game. Because of this, it became commonplace for game companies to program music playing while the disk loaded. Because the SID chip was so far advanced for the time, and so good, a strong fan-base community of composers built up around it. To this day, there are many composers and entire groups dedicated to chiptunes, or the C64 music scene. The show's intro and closing songs are excellent examples. Now let me share with you the history of my SX-64 here. And over here, I have a letter. My SX-64, and this is my original, I acquired in, I guess roughly around, this letter's dated, May 1993, from a Kelvin Gagnier from Waterloo, New York. It was one of the second, or either the first or second computer I actually collected when I started collecting computers. And it's very interesting because I was in the military. I was still stationed in Germany on CompuServe, and I had really started to have thoughts of collecting and starting a computer history organization around the end of '92. And so I would post things in the CompuServe free classifieds, and asking people if anyone has an old computer for sale. But it turned out that this person, Kelvin, had posted that he had an SX-64 that he wanted to give away to someone that had a good cause or a good reason to write him. So I was one of a number of people that emailed him, and let's see, I think I should have counted this beforehand. 3, 7, 11, looks like maybe 11 or 12 people emailed him. So this is a letter that Kelvin sent me. So basically he sent me this computer and all its accessories and everything packed up for free. And he sent it to me. We made arrangements where he awarded it to me, and then once I moved back to America, to US, then he shipped it to me in El Paso, Texas. So this is a letter he sent with it. It's dated May 6, 1993 to me. It says, "Dear David, I am writing this letter to inform you of the features and problems of the Commodore SX-64. I love it dearly and want it to have a good home. I do not want to part with it, but I have to. It takes up precious space on my computer desk where I will put my SX-386 and hope to be able to work more comfortably. My present space has been very cramped for over 3 years now. Also, I can only get about 3 pages of text on the word processor, 14,811 bytes or characters, whereas with WordPerfect, I can get possibly 100 pages or so. I have used both computers for serious work, word processing and telecommunications, and on the PCs, working with utilities to enhance the system and with macros in WordPerfect. I also have a nice collection of info magazines, which are very useful for Commodores, and only an organization such as yours could use them." I'm not going to read the whole letter, but he goes on to say how it's not in perfect condition, though it really was in outstanding condition with very minor things. But he sent me a whole box load of software, accessories, and the info magazines that he mentioned. So here's a copy of Info from Spring 1984, number 3, which in fact I got from Kelvin. And it actually has an article about the SX-64, a quick review here. But this magazine has been a real inspiration to me over the years, and one of my favorite vintage computer magazines. And when I was publishing my newsletter, so here's the last one I published, Historically Brewed, number 9. This has always been a real inspiration for me. And the entire magazine, it went on to be called just Info. So Ben Dunnington completely published this magazine using all the things he reviewed and that the magazine is about, Commodore 64 and its accessories at the time. So, all right, well, back to the SX-64. So anyway, he wrote me a real nice letter. He gave me an inventory of everything that was included. Gave me some codes for Pocket Writer 2, which was his main word processing software, and some other miscellaneous things. But what's really interesting too is on the back here, he actually included the emails from all the people who wrote him for this computer, and he chose me. And it's dated 13 of March 93 from David Grealish, and it's interesting because it has my very first email name, which wasn't a name on CompuServe. It was 100116217 was my CompuServe email address. I wrote him, "Hello, I am currently working with a computer history writer from the Computer Shopper to organize a National Historical Computer Society. I hope to be operating by mid-May," because at that point I knew that was when I'd be back in the United States. "If you do not find what you think to be a better charity, please consider my organization. Also let me know if you would be interested in the club. We will have a great collection of classic computers, an archive of software, plus other information and interesting features. Thank you, David Grealish." The computer history writer I spoke of was Stan Veet, and he went on, he actually was my first member, because I wrote him early on. I was a big fan of his, reading his column in Computer Shopper called Whatever Happened To, and I'll talk about him more as the podcast, the show progresses. But I had hopes of starting a nonprofit organization and forming a museum, and I think a lot of other computer history people had these, and actually now I still hope here in the greater Atlanta area I'm trying to organize a monthly user group that will in fact be at least close to what I had hoped the group would be originally. So it's going to be called the Historical Computer Society, and it'll be meeting once a month, and I have no, I don't expect to be the president forever or anything. I'm just going to be a founder and an organizer, and then it'll become a standalone nonprofit and vote in its officers and everything like all groups like that do. So that's something I'm working on. But anyway, I'm going to read you a few of the other emails. Maybe I'll read them all if they go quickly. But some of the other people said. So, see, he got mine on the 13th of March at 11:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So then at 11:58, he got one from someone that says, "I'm interested in buying your SX-64. What are you charging to sell it? Thanks." Kelvin had made it real clear in his email that he was giving it away if you felt you had a good reason for him to give it to you. And then at, maybe that was in the morning, because then at 21:25 on the same day, was wondering if the SX-64 was still available. I am an officer in a Guild of Craftsmen here in Springfield, Massachusetts. We are a not-for-profit organization. I think SX would be ideal for keeping member listings and meeting minutes. Anxiously awaiting your reply. And then the next day at, well, 3:49 a.m., Kevin, my sister uses several Tandy color computers to help her teach mentally and emotionally handicapped students in the Philadelphia school system. She has put the system together on her own and has stayed away from other computers to keep software compatibility, but your computer might be a good addition if you are interested in donating to a person. So it goes on a little bit more there. Next person, and I'll stop at the times, but time progresses a little bit the next few days. How can I ignore this offer? Better yet, how can I be first? Smiley face. I am the librarian for the Commodore users of Bartlesville, and we sure would like to receive a free Commodore SX-64 computer. Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Okay, next person. I am the secretary of a Commodore Club in Latham, New York. We have a need for a computer such as this. Please reply if you still have it. Note, I inquired about this user group. Oh, this is his note on here. I inquired about this user group several times and was told they had disbanded. If I had known about them before, I would have donated it to them. It is in the same county as mine. They were number 3 on my list. Next person, willing to donate it to a local computer users group. Here in Spokane, Washington, it's called SCUG, Spokane Computer User Group. We're always looking for more machines. Next person, if you don't get any takers, I will pay the shipping and COD to get it to Columbus, Ohio. My 64 SX just died on me and I need a replacement. Let me know. And then, I'll read this last one. Kelvin, your offer is the answer to our prayers.